Hey everyone, we got a couple new double-sided cutters in. And the reason why double-sided cutters is because these single-sided cutters, they work well for like 3 or 4 model kits, and then they get dull. And then how do you sharpen how do you sharpen nippers, right? So that's a bit of an issue. By the way, these God hands, I must have pried apart, and so the whole tip broke off. So the God hands are really expensive, and frankly, I think they're a waste of money because if you can break the tip of them that easily, that's not very durable. You know, that's the result of being able to cut really close to the part, of course. But still, my Dspiaes are better than the God hands from the get-go, anyways. But these still dull. So, not a fan of that. The way I ended up sharpening them is I take one of these little file stainless steel things, and then I have double-sided tape with some really fine sandpaper. This must be like probably 800 grit or something, and I just do that. I don't know if it's right or not, and then might have to adjust the limit. In fact, I think my limit needs to be adjusted right. But anyways, you got to undo that and undo that to do that. So I've managed to prolong the life of these, and so far I haven't broken this tip off either. But these aren't cheap either, Dspiae. So I I've been using the Tamiya double-sided ones, but you can't really get close cuts. But maybe it's just better to cut far away and then just use this generic nano file. This, I think, is the best nano file you can get because it can see what you're doing and is pointed. These are like $1, so buy a bunch of these and don't waste money on the hobby ones that you can't see through. Okay, well anyways, long introduction. So here's a Ustar brand, and these were pretty cheap. I bought both of these off AliExpress. I don't expect the world out of them. Let's see here. Okay. The way I see it now is, why buy expensive cutters that are just going to get dull that you can't sharpen easily? Alright, I'd rather just have cheap ones. Oh, by the way, these are really cheap. They're electronics cutters, and they're just not good for model kits. They cut so coarsely because the angle is so steep. These are meant to cut soldering leads and stuff like that. So this VBP brand, was it? So this also came from AliExpress. Alright, does have VBP etched on there. Alright, I'm in the middle of a 30-minute missions build, so let's try these VBPs. Let's cut away here. Oh, these are really rough. Wow. So let's do the rough cut first. Now, let's try a close cut. That's not bad. Oh, see, look, it's tearing the plastic a lot. Yeah, so that's the problem with double-sided cutters. If you look at the angle of approach on these blades, they seem pretty steep also, right? It's probably a 60-degree. It's not a shallow, blade. If you look at the shallowness of this side here of the Dspiae, that's why it's able to get such smooth cuts, because the angle is so shallow instead of more like plowing through it like a snowblower or a snowplow like this. So these are not good. You really don't want to use these. I think the Tamiyas are better. You see. Let's see if I can hold both of these next to each other. Or you know what? Let's finish this one and I'll hold all 3 of them up together. So these Ustar ones, let's try cutting this thing. First we'll do the rough cut. Oh man, that's rough also. You can literally hear it snap the plastic instead of cut through it. Okay, now let's try the final cut here. Well, that felt smoother. That felt pretty smooth. Yeah, well, these are better, that's for sure. Much better. These are complete garbage for model building. Don't buy them. This one has some possibility here. So now let's just take a look at these two, the Ustar and the Tamiya's, and look at the angles of the blades. So the Tamiya's on the bottom. Not sure if you can see that easily. I do feel like the angle of the Tamiya is shallower. Maybe that's 20 or 30 degrees. This might be a steeper angle, but they're brand new, so that's why they seem to work okay. These have been used quite a bit, so I expect them to be dull. Let's do this thing with the Tamiya's rough cut. Oh, even the rough cut, it doesn't make a snapping sound. You know, it's cutting through the plastic instead of like tearing it. Okay, final cut. But you see, it is tearing the plastic. Yeah. So that's the Tamiya tearing. Ustar, brand new Ustar. No, that's still tearing. You can see the white of the center. Okay, so what this means to me is double-sided cutters simply can't be used close to the model unless you're going to paint the thing, right? So, because they really tore out some plastic, that white spot's going to be there forever unless they sand through all that plastic. So, what I've come to realize then is I'm going to literally have to just cut further away and use the file. So, you know, if I just leave that nub, I'm literally going to have to use the nano file. Even with the Dspiae, I still have to use the nano files anyways. What I like about these nano files is you can go in any direction and those circular holes are cutting plastic. Right, so there you go. You don't have any of that stretching. Maybe that's not the best spot to show. Let's see if I find a better piece here. So you can still get kind of close. Alright, there you go. Alright, so none of that stretching. Maybe that could cut closer. Yeah. Alright, so there you get the idea. So, boy, I don't know what to tell you guys. You know, if you're new to model making, I will probably still end up using the Dspiae the most because I can get closest to, you know, the piece. So here, I'll do a rough cut out here. But a rough cut with a Dspiae is much closer than a rough cut with a double-sided cutter, right? Right, so there's simply less of the sanding to do. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I'm gonna do, honestly. I'm gonna continue using this. The question is, when these can't be sharpened anymore, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna buy another $40 pair of clippers that only last me like 10 model kits? That doesn't sound right, right? It just doesn't seem right. I don't know if there's a, like, no, I don't think there's a special tool to sharpen these. Not for consumers, at least. They're so shallow of an angle. So, boy, that's unfortunate. I just don't know of a better system that could work. Oh, some people mentioned ultrasonic cutters, but those things are like $500, and I really don't even like making model kits. All right, well, hopefully you learned something today, at least about, some of these clippers. I think these are total waste, way overpriced. The Dspiaes perform better, cost less. These cost less than those, but they simply don't cut as well. That's a compromise. Really, the best thing here is this. This $1 nano file is the best thing I have going. You could also just, probably use a hobby knife to get kind of close. But okay, well, see you in the next tool-related video. Thanks for checking this out. Bye now.